One of the biggest debates in all of Pokemon is modern versus vintage. So today we are going to go through and try to figure out which one is actually better, because I constantly hear people say that vintage is dead, modern is king. So we're going to try to find out. Now I know the word vintage means a lot to a lot of different people. People think Sun and Moon is vintage, people think Sword and Shield is vintage. And in my opinion, I would say anything maybe X, Y, and older is considered vintage, because some of that stuff now is 10 years old. But like the true vintage in my eyes are the first two generations. As you can see here, we're going to go through and look at how many sets each generation has came out with. So the first generation came out with 7 sets only. The second, 8 sets. And that, in my opinion, from base set to Skyridge, to me, that is the true vintage. But I totally agree the rest of it is kind of vintage. 100% agree with that. Another thing I see people say is, we print way too many sets. It never used to be like this. Well, those people weren't really in Pokemon, or they weren't paying attention, because look at the third generation. We have 16 sets right here, followed by the fourth generation with 16 sets. Now, Sword and Shield, most popular time in Pokemon history. You'd think we'd have like 20 sets, 25 sets. We really only had 17 sets, so it's not that much more than what we used to get. I feel like Scarlet and Violet probably do the same amount. Hopefully they hold back a little bit. I think I like something like the 6th generation set right here, not too many. Makes the sets feel a little more important, gives you more time to collect. So now if we're talking modern versus vintage, we're going to take the best of vintage, which is those first 2 generations, which is honestly where most of the money is, and compare it to, for this video, I'm going to say all of Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield, and Scarlet and Violet is modern. There is still a very small chance we could get a random reprint of something Sun and Moon. I've been hearing some rumors, so you never really know. I could totally see Pokemon bringing back Tag Team and just making the market go crazy. And for a lot of people to say all the money's in modern, vintage doesn't sell, let's just hop over to eBay real quick, where I just typed in Pokemon, and I went to the sold listings, and I went to the highest price, and look at these prices. It's not modern. 99% of it is vintage. So you got to think, oh, there's a new card right there. 2019. But I mean, the high price stuff is really in vintage. Of course, Charizards are going to be everywhere. Ooh, EX Deoxys booster box, $33,000. And people are talking like modern's crazy. It's like, is it? Vintage is crazy. I know it doesn't sell very much because it's just so expensive. But when it sells, I mean, it's crazy. Expedition, $31,000. Ooh, nice Tiffany & Co. Diamonds Pikachu pendant, 30 grand. That's new. So there you go. But all right, now to really compare, we got to look at the cards, because that's really what matters. So we're going to start off with the modern. This is the best modern has to offer. We got the Latios, makes the heart, beautiful alternate art. We got the Umbreon, Gengar. We got the Giratina, which in my opinion is the best looking card in all of Sword and Shield. Love the Rayquaza, the Gengar. I mean, there's so many good cards between tag teams and alternate arts. You would think it wouldn't even stand a chance against anything vintage. Well, let's take a little look at some of the vintage. Now, you can't tell me some of these don't look beautiful. I mean, we got Crystal Charizard, we got the Shining Gyarados, we got the first edition Lugia. I got 2 of those bad boys. I mean, anything Skyridge, the art is just beautiful. Look at the Arcanine. And if you think these are even close to the prices, like you can just click on any one, and if it's tough to find these things in near mint. I mean, that's moderately played for $350. Like, we're talking damage. Let's go to the last page, see if we can get anything in near mint. Near mint, they're asking $4 grand. $3,500. It's just crazy. So if you can find stuff like this, I mean, here's a near mint reverse hollow full of 750, 1200. It's the prices are just nuts. So when you're comparing the two, it's tough to compare. And then too, for that first generation, we got unlimited and first edition, which I love that. I love the first edition stamp. It just means you were there early, you were collecting right off the bat. I always like that. I know there's some YouTubers that do not like that, but I'm a big fan. So, I mean, art-wise, of course, the newer cards win. They're using the entire card as the art. It's going to be a better picture. But you can't deny the variety we get here, between crystal cards, light, dark cards, shining cards, it's e-reader cards. It's kind of crazy. And these prices are nuts. Don't even look at the black numbers. That's in the absolute worst condition possible. But alright, we are going to go through and see what else Vintage has to offer, and we're going to end with Modern. So these are some Vintage booster packs, just seeing what the prices are at. Now these are just packs. A Neo Genesis First Edition pack, $650. That's what a Sun and Moon, what is a Unified Minds box, almost a little more than that. So, honestly, there's not a huge difference. Look at that, a $155 for an unlimited Jungle pack versus $280 for a first edition. I feel like there should be a little bit bigger gap. Same with this. We got Fossil here. It's $110 more for the first edition. So yeah, these are pretty expensive. Now these are just single booster packs, loose packs, which more and more people are buying. It's kind of crazy. All right, let's see what else Vintage has to offer. Look at the prices of these booster boxes. It's pretty crazy, and these are so much cheaper than what they were during the boom. I should have pulled that up, but I swear these were $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 during the boom. Neo Genesis First Edition box, $44,000. So when you're thinking of Pokemon now, like booster boxes, are our modern booster boxes ever going to get to these prices? No, they're never going to. It's just a fact. They could get, $1,000, $2,000, and then for those special sets, they could get in the thousands and stuff like that. But I really don't think any modern set ever will do this, especially at these prices. And there's still money to be made. People buy and sell these things constantly. If you could buy a couple, we're talking big money here. But you can buy a few things from somebody, get kind of a better deal, keep two, sell one for profit, stuff like that. So let's just take a look at the Neo Genesis booster box. Let's see what these prices are. And of course, they're still gathering pricing data. They just don't sell as many of these as they do modern. But when they do sell, they sell. But alright, let's see. Now this is the cheapest thing Vintage has to offer in sealed. And that would be these little theme decks, which I am a humongous fan of. I want all of them. I am obsessed with these. Probably my favorite Vintage thing at the moment. I opened a bunch of these as a kid, so they're kind of special to me. When they run out of packs, you just buy one of these, you're getting a holo in there. So some of them are pretty expensive. Especially the Neo ones get pretty spendy. But I love these things. But I mean, look at the base set 2, $107 sealed from base set 2. That is not bad. We got multiple fossil decks. They put different Pokemon on there. Same with Jungle, base set 2. But I'm a big fan of these. And these are one of the easiest and cheapest ways to start getting into some sealed Vintage. But so as you can see, money-wise, Vintage is destroying Modern. Yes, I know Modern sells way more all day, every day. But as someone who still hunts down first edition holo cards in near mint condition, it's so tough. They sell instantly. People overpay constantly. Especially, I still remember the first edition holo prices before the boom. Like, before even Hidden Fates, before Pokemon got a little more popular then. Like, I'm talking $60, $70 for the best first edition holo cards there was. I got my Lugia for $60. And then I got another first edition Lugia that was in a lot, which equaled out to be about $60. So it's kind of crazy the prices they're at now. And I'm not really 100% sure if they'll go down anymore, but you never know. It's all about the condition. That's one thing Modern doesn't have to worry about, condition. Usually. Most cards are, 99% of cards are near mint. Not for Vintage. But alright, we are going to go to Modern. What does Modern have to offer? Well, we got the Celebrations UPC. One of the best Modern products we have gotten. And honestly, I love this box. Comes with a ton of packs. I love that it comes with celebration packs and regular booster packs. Love that idea. And then you're getting the gold Charizard, gold Pikachu, and other promos too. Other gold Pikachus and stuff that are just not metal. So, big fan of this. This one's actually on the way down. I would love to see this thing get like $300. I still do need one of these. Someone bought one yesterday at $361. So this is one of the best boxes Modern has to offer. Now these are some of the Modern booster boxes. We got Evolving Skies, $500. Unbroken Bond, $700. Team Up, $2,000. Not bad. Like, that's a crazy price for a Modern. I mean, what was the Fossil one? $7, $8,000. So that box is very special and just insane. But I have heard rumors of tag team reprints. Just rumors. I just keep hearing comments constantly, people talking about it. So you never know if that comes out. Team Up. This box is going to drop hard. Very hard. Celestial Storm, $700. You can get Evolving Skies Booster Box case for $4,500. There we're talking some big money. But I mean, this is the best that Modern really has to offer. I didn't do like any like special promos or anything like that, but Hidden Fates I think has some really expensive boxes, some of those big premium collections. So when you're comparing the two, what do they both have to offer? Well, Vintage has history. I love having the first card ever, like of my favorite Pokemon. I love having the first version ever. It's just my favorite thing. I'm obsessed with it. I do the same thing with comic books, everything. So you're getting the history and you're getting nostalgia. These are cards that I have chased for over 20 years. You guys have to remember that. So you can't expect me to love a Modern card as much as I love a Vintage card that I have chased forever. So when people compare Modern versus Vintage, if you are a true Vintage fan, it's tough to love Modern as much. I know Modern is more fun to open, it's cheap, and we're going to prove right here why Modern is probably a little better and easier to get into, because you got booster boxes at $90, 85, Lost Origins $150. By the way, guys, these Sword and Shield booster boxes are going up. Lost Origin was not this expensive last time I checked. Same with Chilean Rain. I think all three of these have gone up. Paradox Rift, $92. So you can get into Modern very easily. Plus we have sets like Celebrations and 151 and Crown Zenith, which are all still relatively affordable. So honestly, Modern probably has some of the best sets ever made. The cards are more affordable, and you can just easily get it. Not to mention we're getting singles like this. Look at these beautiful arts, all $1 or $2. It's just crazy. So yes, I do agree. Modern is probably king right now just because it's so accessible. It's just so affordable. It's fun to open. And I honestly believe Scarlet and Violet is one of the best eras we've ever had. These sets, every set is just beautiful. There's really nothing you can complain about. So the only people that are really complaining are the people, scalpers and flippers who want a set to come out that everybody wants. That's, booster boxes go up to $200 right away and you can flip. But we don't do that because, like I always say on this channel, we are fans first, collectors second, investors third. So when comparing the two, they both kind of win in different ways. As you've seen, Vintage is the king of high-priced stuff. I mean, the prices on these things are just crazy. And as you've seen, they didn't make very many sets. The print runs are so tiny compared to what we're getting now. They're just more rare. Yes, these have slightly better arts. They're full arts. They're cheap. They're affordable. But the vintage is king if you're talking high price, Pokemon here. So if you can play with the big boys in vintage, I definitely recommend it. So for the people who say, nobody buys vintage, it's just not in your price range. You're just not looking at that. But yeah, that's one of the biggest debates though, is modern versus vintage. All the old Gen 1 people, they don't like the new sets. The people who love all the new sets, they don't like the old sets. Which to me just seems crazy. Because how do you not like the older sets, the sets that you grew up on and chase cards for years, instead of these newer sets where you're getting new cards constantly? These new Pokemon, I've only known them for 3 to 6 months. I've said this before, but in my eyes, these lifelong Pokemon, like the Pokemon from Generation 1, Generation 2, those are lifelong friends. Those are old buddies. These newer guys, these are newer acquaintances. I don't know them yet. I got to get to know them a little better, so they don't know half their names. So it's tough to just love modern instantly, but I definitely do not hate modern. Like I say constantly, Scarlet and Violet, the whole era is just crazy. These sets are just destroying it. I love how they're giving a little bit of everything. So you can't really, there's not much to complain about in Pokemon right now, unless, like I said, you're a scalper. And for the people that stayed all the way here, I am going to go through and we're going to check out all of these starters, and we're going to see if they actually got worse as time goes on. I really have no complaints about Generation 1 starters. I love that even the middle evolutions look really nice. So, honestly, it's like a 10 out of 10. And I know, Gen 1 tell me what's wrong with them. Charizard sometimes looks a little fat, but I just love it. It's perfect. Pikachu design is great. I love Generation 2 designs. Actually, Generation 2 could probably be my favorite of the starter evolutions. I love these guys. Now, Generation 3, I didn't really have much complaints about. I didn't really care for Swampert when I played in the game, but design-wise, I think they do a good job. Threw in like the Mega Evolutions down here. Generation 4, this to me, I feel like Torterra could have been a little cooler, but I guess they got to keep it away from Venusaur, so it's tough there. And I love Empoleon. I wish the Trident, like my Aquaman Trident, was down a little more. I don't know. I just feel like it covers its whole face. I feel like it's just a little weird, but not bad. Generation 5, I am not a fan of Ambor's design. I like Superior. I like him a lot. It makes me feel like it's like a dragon. And I actually like Samurott a lot. Reminds me of a Digimon. I love when Pokemon remind me of a Digimon. We got Generation 6 here. Now a lot of people go Greninja, but I don't like that tongue, like the tongue thing that goes all the way around. Not a fan of that. I actually really like Chestnut because, again, reminds me of a Digimon. Generation 7. Now, I know this got a little bit of hate because, like, the Litten is just like Fire Cat. Kind of laziness, but I actually liked what they did with Incineroar. Huge, huge fan of that. And the other two aren't too bad. I feel like Primarina does not get much love at all. Alright, we're almost a Sword and Shield. Now, I picked Drizzile because I love Inteleon. Big fan of Inteleon. Cinderace isn't bad. I like the Generation 8 starters. No complaints there. And, they threw in the Legend Arceus. Okay. Alright, Generation 9. Are these designs bad? I did not like that the Quaquaval danced. That was my only complaint. Otherwise, I think it looks kind of cool. And then I don't like the middle evolution for Skeledirge. Just looks weird. I don't like the little thing sticking out of his head that goes like nowhere, kind of. But if you guys like this video, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. If you guys have any quick questions or comments, please let me know down below. We are so close to 100,000 subscribers. Make sure you check out that 100K subscriber celebration video. We are going to have at least 5 different winners. We're going to my favorite card sorry, so you do not want to miss out. And if you guys want to check out and see what the 151 prices are doing, watch this video. Otherwise, have a great day. See you later.